I'm your host, Lizeth Alvarado. This is the Laws of Epic Beauty Show. I'm loving our guest today. She is founder of Kingsley Model and Talent Management and a highly sought after fashion stylist. She's the fashion editor for Monarch Magazine, a style expert and TV and digital fashion contributor. She's regularly seen on Good Day Fox DC and Great Day Washington WUSA 9. With over 20 years of experience in the fashion industry, she's been featured in Forbes, AT&T, and DC Modern Luxury Magazine. Joy Kingsley-Ibeh, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Lizeth. That is a mouthful, but you knocked it out of the park. Thank you.
Yes, you have quite the resume, Joy. I mean, 20 years of experience and modeling. My goodness. You know, when I think of modeling, it's just such an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
I think like everyone has opportunity. That's the way it seems, especially with social media and everything. And, you know, I just wonder, when I think of modeling, I just wonder, is that something that is for everyone? Can anybody become a model? Like, what, if I wanted to be a model, what would you recommend for someone who wants to get into the industry?
That's a very, very good question. First, can anyone be a model? It depends on what type of modeling you want to go into. But the short answer is no, because it's not for everyone. Every job isn't for everybody, right? And but to get into the modeling industry, one of the biggest things I recommend is to do your homework. I often find that a lot of people, they don't even research the industry. They don't understand the different avenues of the modeling industry that you can get into. I think most people, when they think of modeling, they think of high fashion. They think of the Naomi Campbells and the Bella Hadids and all of those high fashion models, where there's so many different avenues of in the talent industry. You can do print modeling, you can do commercial, lifestyle, voiceover, acting, hand modeling. I'm a terrible hand modeler, but there's so many things you can do. So research the different parts of modeling, and then do your homework on the agencies in your area. You know, check out their websites, look at the types of models that they have on their page, and see if you can see yourself fitting into their niche. And some agencies are only commercial agencies, some agencies are fashion, some do both. So it's really about doing the homework. A good friend of mine always says, Google is your mother and YouTube is your father. You can find anything online.
Yes, that's absolutely right. And I see so many blogs online about how to get into modeling. And, you know, it's like, I think now with Instagram, social media, and, you know, just the ability to make yourself look so perfect. Well, you know, so much competition I can imagine in the industry. How does one stand out from the rest?
Wow. Ones that stand out to me are kind of the persistent ones, right? Because I don't claim to be the end all be all about knowing who's right, who's the best. A lot of modeling is about a feeling for an agency, right? There is the aesthetic part of it. This is an aesthetic driven business. So looks play a big role in that. But the ones that stand out are the ones that you constantly see working. You see them connecting with different photographers. They're posting a lot. And they're probably banging our doors down quite often, you know. And then I'm like, all right, let me check out this girl or this guy and see what they're really all about, you know. And personality. I can't stress that enough, you know. Being a pleasant person, being someone that people want to work with, and being likable. That's a key to that, because I have a stand-in role with my agency. No divas. I don't care if you meet every single requirement that I want. You may be the golden child, and I'm like, oh my God, this girl or guy is just gorgeous. But when I sense that attitude, or I'm better than you, or they're going to be hard to work with, I turn off. I'm turned off easily by that, and I don't want to work with them, because they will eventually make your life difficult.
Yes, I can understand that. I mean, it's like, you know, if you're going to be around someone, even when it comes to modeling, you want to be around people who are positive, especially when I can imagine there's so much rejection. And, you know, how do you stay strong in an industry where rejection is so common? I can imagine there's way more many no's than there are yeses. So how do you stay kind of like, you know, in the game and stay confident?
That's a good question. And it's something that I myself have to keep myself up to, because my talent's rejection is almost like a rejection for me too, right? And there are times when a client may reach out to us and they want a package of models, and we submit all of our models and they don't pick a single model from us, And so I'm like, damn, what did I do wrong in that package? Or what did I not have that the client wanted? But my advice to models is understand that it's not about you. It's the client, and they have a specific need that they want, and they have a specific look that they want for their brand or their product. So it's really about that. You may not be right for this client, but you may be perfect for the next client. And so I look at that for myself too, as the agency is, all right, they didn't find any models in our package this time, but now the client knows our name. Now the client knows that Kingsley's available, and now they know the caliber of talent that we do represent. And maybe next time they'll come to us for some models, and then we'll book that time. So it's recognizing that it's not about you, but also recognizing that it's a numbers game too, and being patient.
Right. Oh my goodness, I was watching patience just being.
Yeah. And it's, and I get it. It's hard for models, because, and I can tell in their face, and sometimes a job will come about that they felt like they were perfect for. Even I thought they were perfect for. I'm like, yes, they're going to get this job, and it doesn't happen. But you got to keep your head up. And I'll say one other thing is, make sure you have outside interest and people that keep you grounded in your life, that make sure you don't take life too seriously with this business, because it can do some internal damage, to your self-esteem if you let it. And so it's really about just trying to really maintain that confidence in yourself as a person, because, there's so much more to life than modeling,
Right. Yeah, that's absolutely true. It's almost like you have to, I guess in any kind of career, it doesn't matter, modeling, or you are, working in IT, it's so important to have all your other buckets, because you're not just one thing. We have so many things that encompass us.
Yep.
So it's important to feed every different pot of the things that bring us joy in life, right?
Yeah.
And that way we don't just put all our hope in one place.
Yeah.
But, your friends, your family, and I'm a believer that if someone doesn't really, bring a certain type of energy into your life, then it's time to just, say
peace out.
yes.
Yes.
It's so important. We need all the juice we can get, right, in life.
Yes. No, and that's why I like to surround myself with good people. And I will say that I have been so blessed with the agency in terms of the talent that we represent. I interview each and every person that we sign. So there's no one that is being signed that I haven't vetted. I haven't gotten to know them, because it's important for them to understand and get to know me, the person that they're going to be working with, working for. And I want to get to know them too, beyond modeling. So I often ask them questions about their personal life. Like, tell me about your family. Tell me about your job, if you have a job outside of modeling. Tell me about your habits and your other things that you're passionate about. So that way, as we're working with these talent, I'm in a unique position oftentimes when a client will ask me about a particular talent. They'll say, okay, well, what's this person like? And I can honestly say, oh my God, they have a great personality. They're bubbly, they're this, they're that, and I can really speak honestly about that talent. So it's, I have enjoyed getting to know my talent, and they represent Kingsley so well. I mean, it really melts my heart in the cheesiest way possible. But I have great humans that I represent, and I'm lucky.
Yeah, that's great. It's a blessing you have good people in your life, and especially these they're independent contractors, right?
Yeah, they are. They're all not, we represent non-exclusive models. That way, the DMV market, it's a small market. And when I was modeling for the past 20 years, I was always non-exclusive with my agencies. And for me, I enjoyed that because it still gave me the opportunity to find freelance work on my own, and also the opportunity to sign with other agencies outside of the DC market. So I was represented here in DC and also here, in New York. And because I want my models to have every opportunity in the world to shine, and I let them know that whether we book them the job or not, I want them to feel safe and comfortable to talk to me about a particular job they may get on their own, because I don't want them doing something wrong or getting themselves locked into a contract that is bad, because there's so many scammers out there, and there's so many people that don't have their best interest in heart. So I'm always like, listen, run it by me. That's what I'm here for. I got your back.
Yeah, no, scams, that is the first thing I think about when I think of modeling. Because I remember in the early 20s, photographers would just tell you what you wanted to hear for who knows what reason. So does that still exist? Like, what are some common scams? And if so, like, how do you avoid them?
Sadly, it still exists. Sadly, there are many, many scammers amongst our midst here in DC. And it breaks my heart for the models, because I noticed that there are so many people that are so eager to be signed by an agency or so eager to be a model that they don't read the fine print, that they listen to anything that anybody will say to them. And so they find themselves signing on to contracts where an agency is asking them to pay monthly dues to be represented. That should never happen. You should never be paying an agency to represent you. You should never be paying an agency to give you modeling classes or anything like that. So I think that it's unfortunate that there are people that are shady like that in the business, and it gives the business an overall bad name. But and that's, again, I base my agency on how I wanted to be treated as a model. I wanted honesty. I wanted transparency. I wanted to feel like I was connected to a family. I wanted to feel like my agency had my back as a talent. I didn't necessarily get that, so I'm giving it to my talent, and making sure they have a safe space, and there's no, everything is transparent. I mean, sometimes to a fault, but I definitely feel confident with the way that I have handled my business and how my models feel about it. But yeah, there's so many scams out there still, and I wish they would just go out of business.
I love that is what your agency is about, that you're transparent, that you're super honest. And I personally know you, so I love, like, when I ask you something, you're just like you're straight to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people that are checking in, hey, Brooke, hi, Stacey. Brooke, yes, so she's my friend Brooke. She's got the most gorgeous kids. Oh my gosh, and I tell you, they're so beautiful. So she wants to know what you recommend for parents who want representation for their kids.
Oh, what questions? Well, first of all, it's hard finding an agency that represents kids, right? There's not a lot of them. There's not any in the DMV area. And we don't represent children. However, I do work with some parents who I feel that their kids may have potential. I think it's important to ask what kind of jobs that the agency gets for their child models. Also, the agency parents should always be involved every step of the way. There should never be a time when they're like, oh, you can just drop your child off and let them be. Like, that should never happen. And I always make sure parents know, if you want your child to get into modeling, understand that you are modeling with them because you have to be there for everything. You're dropping them off, you're picking them up, you're the one dealing with all the contracts and the bookings and the paperwork. So it's really find out the types of jobs that they get for the kids, and how much involvement that they expect with the parents, And it's really the same questions that you would ask even if you were an adult agency. I mean, everything, for the most part, everything is the same. There are a little bit of different laws and rules that apply to children in terms of how long they can work on set. So again, it's getting that full transparency from them and learning, because kids can't work an 8-hour day. Things have to be broken up in such a way that, for child labor laws and things of that nature.
Right. Yes. So it sounds like it's just maybe a sport. Parents should be there to accompany their children. And just thank you so much for your question, Brooke, all the way from Tulum. She's tuning in. My super supportive friends. I love you guys so much. So you're a Black-owned modeling agency. Now, what is your experience like? Being a Black-owned modeling agency.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's no different than being a Black woman navigating through this system in America that is layered with racism. So I feel like in every single job that I've ever had, I've had to navigate as a Black woman. I've had to code switch. I've had to do better, be better, work harder. My introduction into the modeling industry when I was modeling, it was riddled with a lot of undertones of racism, right? Simply going to a casting, simply going to a photo shoot or a runway show, and you sit down in the chair and you have a Caucasian person ready to do your hair and makeup, and they don't know what to do with my natural hair. They don't even know how to match my skin. They don't have the right makeup for my skin. So I automatically learned quickly that I either had to show up with my hair already done, so they can look at it and be like, oh, no, it's fine. You look good, because I know they can't do anything with it. And I always had to pack my makeup bag. So when they were done, I would look at my face in the mirror, hate it, and then I would run and sneak to the bathroom and I would touch myself up with my makeup, And the sad thing is that it still happens today. So breaking into this doors where I am one of the few Black-owned agencies in the country, there's a lot of responsibility with that, So I definitely, again, going back to what I found this agency on is the honesty, the transparency, the having to just walk the straight line, because any little mistake I made, it's going to be looked at, oh, well, see, she's Black, it wasn't going to happen anyways, Then it puts further responsibility on me to protect my talent of color. I support all my talent, but again, the fashion industry is a whitewashed industry. So there's a lot of things that my Caucasian models are not going to experience that my talent of color will, be it African American, Asian, Latino. I mean, we can talk even now with what's happening in the Asian community. I will never forget the first time I had to make a conscious decision on being outspoken on my business platforms, because I never wanted to associate race, politics, religion, or anything like that with the businesses, because I didn't want to be looked at as a Black woman. Oh, that's a Black agency because she's Black. I'm a modeling agency, because you're not looking at Caucasian people saying, oh, well, that's a white agency because they're white, Yeah. And so this summer of 2020, after George Floyd died, I mean, it gutted everyone, right? And it was such a tragic thing. And I literally had to sit there and say, gosh, I have to say something, because it's so personal to me, and personal on deeper levels, because I am a child of trauma through gun violence. I lost my father to gun violence when I was 9. I lost my older brother to gun violence when I was 21. And so I understand the damage that these shootings do, not only to the family, but to the community as a whole, So I'm speaking on this not only from a place of experience and understanding, but of a place of understanding what my other talent are experiencing and feeling as well. And I don't believe that there's another agency that they would be able to feel safe to express their feelings. And so after me speaking out, I even sent a mass email to my talent. I didn't know how they would receive it. And it was a point where I almost didn't care how people received it, because I'm speaking my truth. And this is something in my personal life, I'm very passionate and vocal about social injustices. And but I got so many DMs and emails from my talent just being like, thank you so much for having our back. Thank you for giving us this space to feel free, And then a lot of it was from my white talent, and I was like, oh, wow, yes, But so it's always a challenge when you are Black in a space that is predominantly white. It simply is. I have more confidence now as a business owner, where I'm not so concerned what someone may think about me, as long as I know that I'm on the right side of history and that I'm doing the right thing. I don't care what someone thinks. I don't care if I lose clients because of it, because I'm standing up for what's right.
Yeah, I think that's all. Brooke, just like Brooke says, it's all that matters.
Yeah.
Stand up for your belief, and this is the times. This is what we're all about, and this is the times that we're heading into that.
Exactly.
And so I know that there's, we as business owners, in the forefront, everything looks so perfect and beautiful and amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody understands what goes on behind the scenes, and the whole goal of the laws of equity is to be able to share with the world that you're not alone, that every single one of us, we're all human, we're living the human experience. We all go through something in life at a different phase. So someone might be going through something, right now, but then not, and the other person, goes through it later in life. But at some point, we kind of all go through the same experience. Now, what has been your biggest obstacle, and how have you overcome?
Oh gosh, what hasn't been an obstacle, right? I've had so many obstacles on this business journey. I mean, first of all, just starting the business, I was a one-woman show for a good 2 years of this business, and we're going into year 4. And so trying to pretend that I had a machine of people working behind me, when it was just me and my husband. And and he's not a fashion person. He doesn't know the industry, but he knows business, and I was able to run things by him. But as I say, having to be the janitor and the CEO, I've done and I do everything for the business. So those first couple of years were really challenging and trying to find good help. And I've had some great people along the way, and now I'm just so grateful for my staff now, because they have been so instrumental. They're so hardworking. I literally, for the first time, was able to take a vacation. I went to Jamaica recently, and I didn't open my laptop. That's never happened, right? I was able to trust that my assistant handled everything, and it was fantastic. And so it's been really great. And but just family, husband, trying to be a good wife, trying to be a good family member while you're trying to run a business. It's been really hard, but it's been rewarding at the same time.
Yes, I can imagine how that's so difficult. But you do such a great job balancing, right?
Thank you.
The show, we can only have you for 15 minutes, is
I know.
what's an epic beauty that you live by?
Oh, my epic beauty. I'm an all natural girl. I'm not the girl I don't have a beauty routine. I literally wash my face at night and that's it, and just put on my lotion. I probably should be using more face cream now as I'm getting older. And when it comes to exercising, it's again, all natural. I believe in eating right, working out, and, and just treating my body right. When I can, I get sleep. But that's the thing I'm lacking in my life, is sleep. But for the most part, I just encourage doing things the natural way.
Okay, beautiful. Well, you're absolutely beautifully naturally, Joy. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for being here on the show. I'm so proud of you, and I love everything that you're doing. And I am looking forward to seeing all the things that you have going for this year.
Thank you so much, Lizeth. I can't believe 15 minutes went that quickly. But thanks for having me. And likewise, I'm proud of you too. And I'm so happy to be on this podcast with you. And good luck on the rest of your shows.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank
you, Joe.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Well, thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And Stacy, we love you guys so much.
Yes, thanks for the questions, too.
All right. And that wraps it up for the Laws of Epic Beauty. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on the show.